Hello, welcome to the first week of the month. Whether or not, so the first week of the month, I always talk about what is the vibration. There's a nebula in space that could form a galaxy over time, and all these particles are intermingling, which looks abstract, is not such. It does not mean that it's going to become a formation of planets in an orbit of a universe, like having a galaxy. It could just dissipate away through time on the giving space that it has. So, in the first week, I talk about just like saying with a vibration doesn't mean that it is, or something that's passing by, or an idea. So I am trying to have an agreement, so I sign for my formula. I have given a sneak peek and a test of trust, and I've been hacked for 2 years. This is my story. This is my work. I don't give a fuck if you're Bill Gates or the King of England. I can support you, but it gets tiring. It's not that I work for free or I have unconditional love or I belong to any religion to fight any culture. This is simply my work and my story that's being also part of creation. So you could never categorize me because people like me don't exist. So you can keep banging yourself against the wall. You can pretend that you are in control of me. You are stuck in character and on a dimension, and I am here until you break through. So yeah, it's gonna feel like you're doing the old thing that is an so I do not like insults and manipulations through internet, but with people, and I demand respect. So if you do not have respect, I do not have respect. Easy weasy. I'm not role playing here. This is my domain. With that enters my formula. You like it or not, you can spend online all your life doing the same thing. Trust me, nothing is going to move because it's been created specifically so it works like that. And it's never going to work like this. It can be work like pieces. Here, this clue, this other clue is highly dangerous because unless you break through, you could not be capable of understanding the rules of roleplay. And if you don't understand a basic, very like slow down, slow down. Intelligent people don't like to work too much doing stupid things again and again. Yeah? So think about it. Just think about it. Do you think that I'm going to change my agreement? It's very easy, actually. You want to dominate me and make your agreement? I could care less. I could care less if people are dying, if you don't come because you cannot even have a heart on because you're addicted to cocaine and you feel so high that you need fantasies. Like if you're with many women, but you're not actually. And sometimes you are. and then you have to deal with your fucking wife, and then you just go and shit it all over your internet because you're a brat. Well, that is your problem, mister. So I have to deal with this problem. I never wanted to be a psychologist, even though I had to be assistant of therapy. I do not believe in therapy because people need to play their own things and have fun with it without getting too serious and stuck in character, because that's the problem. You become the problem. One of the beauties of this world is what this world has created among other planet as no other planet, and perhaps as no other planet in any galaxy. There could be, I mean, it is brutal, and we have to face the brutality of unintelligent beings who keep fighting instead of constructing, because that is part of a very old idea that is from brutish pathways, and it has a currency that an inclination towards believing that oppressing and commanding and obligating and fighting and killing and making it your fucking way is the way. Well, well, welcome to the world of tantra, to the world of dancing, to the world of interaction. This world, what it has is a creativity that multiplies by all its relations continuously. And there is a biology that exists thanks to this chain reaction that imploded. That's one of my many theories. I can give a lot of award Nobel Prizes because I don't have time to write these books, all right? So keep lying. Keep lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Because who follows these lies? People have nothing to do with your lies. Tomorrow, everybody can be against you. You really think you have manipulated people online? Because this is the problem with supporting of this kind. So one thing is to be friends and have a strong sense of loyalty to what matters most and be capable to stand straight without having to eat shit because you take care of your creativity and you believe in what you're doing and you know what is what. Now, another thing is to allow insults, problems, frustrations, more aggravations. It's like that war there with Russia and Ukraine. Now they're going to fight because the United States or NATO or whoever, I don't want to call him Zelensky because he really looks like Lewinsky, Monica Lewinsky. Look, whatever you are, this 10, like, oh, it have to be this 10. It's like, first of all, you were part of Russia, all right? So there's a problem here. And there are many countries in this world that are ready to war to get all this off their boundaries and borders. But you cannot deal like that. You cannot deal like that. You cannot deal by oppressing, by making wars, but triggering ignorance. You're going to be insulting people like that because you're so cool. You have a little bitch there next to you pretending to be what? The most popular in class? Because you're stuck in your teenager years when you met. You never grew up. You don't look like a man. You look like a young artist who needs, craves to express himself, but has no notion of all the power that you have to make the world articulate better. And you know very well where I come from. So being afraid of me is being afraid of your own potential. You cannot control people. People have their space of creation. People have their needs to create and mediate and relate. And if people have the power to give these sources, they must. And we must change these buttons of belief that are currencies, they are inclinations, because people fall into the same shit again and again, like flies. And investing in war is over, game over. Yeah? Like raping children, same attitude. The end, all right? Your secret, blind eyes following into the whatever because you trust and you belong. That's over. We're entering into a world of science fiction that is real and multimedia and a lot of acts, action in reality, but a lot of action in reality. And the more green energy, the more movement. So we're going to see the conversion from oil to green energy and how green energy countries are living better and the psychology of how we consume this green energy and why it works. Because we're passing these values into human nature. Now, human nature is valuable. Instead of having 10 kids and paying no attention to them, have less, but you can pay attention to them. It's not just about money, having money to have children. But if you can take attention to all the world and pay fine attention. Fine attention. So we need this formula to work everywhere as possible. Journalists, the media, anyone who's doing business. It's not just in fantasy, learning how to be on many characters and not taking things so personal. Being in that form of intelligence that you have created as if he's a robot. But for that, you have to study. You have to study. You have to dig into the nature of this character and the science of this character, because this character also has elements. And not all the characters are real. You need some fantasy there. You need some electromagnetic bullshit to create whatever is beyond. It's just exaggerated. Because life of it is like this. It's very boring. And if you have fun shitting on people, because you don't have anyone to make you straight to what is needed. You have the power for that. So show some respect towards those who work for you, unless they have some respect, because there is no one. You cannot change me. You could change me once you steal everything from me, but it has to be signed there. My work. And if you're sharing my bullshit, that is your problem, because you're hacking my computer. So that's why I'm insulting you, so people can see how good you are to share this. Yeah. You think people really care about people's privacies, of whom they are? This is why America is so cool. I mean, it's New York City. I don't know America. Never really wanted to be in America. I think they're slow and like any town out of the city. America. People don't care. They enjoy their freedom. As long as you're doing your work, that's it. All this decor, you're living in a world that nobody's living in. Nobody gives a shit of whom you are. What is your position? This world is not what you think it is. You have maybe a few hundreds around you who will do anything to suck your whatever. Yeah, suck his and eat his cum. Come on, big deal. Do you think this matters? Of course it matters. What is the need to kill so many people to have more of the same problem again? Do you think people are going to continue with this? Why does Putin want to talk with the German president? Yeah? Because you're not taking care of your people. You're only taking care of making people laugh. Because you think you're funny, because you think you're cute, because because everybody treats you like that. But that's not how. You have some people there that stream on you, and you have a great work that you're doing, but you know much more than that. You know so much more than that for character traits that you don't want to do what people tell you. Then just end up fucking off, you know? And end up. Follow the tradition. Yeah. You're not going to make any new design out of your generation. What is this? One thing is to have tradition, another one have a little bit of, yeah, of that tendency. I don't see people in 100 years dressing like 200 years ago. No matter how much tradition is that, but whatever it is, make it your own design that marks you with the people that you really like to be. And this is one of the values that we have to recover, because you like to do what you like to do with people like you. You're sharing from your websites like if you are so separated from others. Yeah? You're never going to puzzle up like that, just reporting from your website, your domain, from your platform, running away from the truth, from me. So whatever you're thinking about women, men, this culture, the other, forget it. You're lost. You're lost in your own stuck in character perception. This is not what role play is about, and the rules of role play into virtual reality and human interaction. I created a forum to operate within McDonald's for human interaction because I am a role player, and I could see and test it with everyone how everyone recycle it. Thanks to the design of McDonald's, which is not happening in reality. And that's how creation is. We make mistakes, and it cannot be done as we imagine. Because one thing is, yeah, I have this vibration and idea, and I'm going to design. But people are not doing it because you have problems with governments for recycling. There's this, each country has a different form of operating with recycling trucks, and the ones who share the same system with their own trucks, and they deliver the food, and they just pick up the plastics and cups, and it goes to the coffee through another vertiente, through another source. So recycling is very important. Also to think is that as a recycling, everyone has to learn to recycle, and the human interaction teaches people to think wisely, to recycle, and to act. Now people are more drugged with the computer and the kids in the screen all the time. So we're gonna have more imbeciles, more narcissists, and we're gonna have more stupid women supporting the same bullshit. but worse because people are not going. They're not going to live life as we are meant to, and respect all our spots that are to be played. So it's more than a piano. If you are multicultural, at least, even if you're stuck in your ego, but at least you had learned a lot of things. So people can talk about things they don't know, and they will never know because it's impossible. It's possible. It is impossible. You can never talk about Tantra if you never had experienced Tantra or know what is Tantra. Maybe you were born with the magic, as everyone has that birthright. It's not sexual, it's about all our senses and human intelligence through all our perceptions and notions to, to perceive and learn and reflect and mirror. So we all have that. You are in a bubble where everything is translated to the world of narcissism. And you have to stop this and start trusting the people around you can suck your dick, but I won't. All right? And people that are not belonging to your obsolete kingdom and palaces are not going to follow through that way. All right? You have to understand that people will do it for money, for interest, but they all share this that you are a crazy genius. But the crazy part is because you are a brat. You are a brat with no respect because that is your fun. So you want to be insulted because nobody has insulted you. You look like you. There's so many. I could make so much money with S&M. Really, just beating the shit out of the very top rich. But I think that's stupid. I think it's stupid. It is stupid. It goes nowhere. And in role play, it is good if you are forming thematics because people are afraid to express their rage. But this is not how you manage a negotiation. That is most important to learn from yourself because nobody's serving you this and giving it to you. Yes, you're going to operate for this to work wisely as fast as possible. So you're gonna go out there, you're not gonna make a fool out of yourself doing the same shit every day and keep eating shit and keep vomiting shit because you're eating shit. All right? But everybody can see that. 'Cause people don't eat shit nowadays. In people's like United States of America or in Ibiza, many Spanish, all right, and South Americans. Like, yeah, they might have problems, but they will die in peace because they are their problems. They're not eating anyone's shit. Cubans eat shit, and they say all the time they eat shit. They say that many times every day. Is a form of talking in Cuba. So meanwhile, yeah, China is investing a little bit here and there, and you don't want to deal with it. You want to insult me and disrespect me because your wife is not giving you anal sex. I don't know really. Like, you want anal sex? Or you want to have fantasy? You want to have more stories because you do what you like, and that makes you feel good. You're always gonna be like that. But don't use my work or my space to insult me. All right? And my work. because what you did to your brother and Meghan Markle is nothing. It's nothing. I won't be there for the royalty ever again because I am not respected for my work to work. And my work is more important than me. But I am the person who's taking care of my work. So it works. And it's very easy for what I ask. I didn't ask money in advance. I asked for my percentage. And when it's rolling and entering the money, then I want my money. All right? And many women like me are going to be free from assholes like you. So you keep insulting me, I keep insulting you, and everybody's gonna look at you for what you really are. Because they look at you, but they're gonna take a closer look. And that's why people left Europe. This is why many dictators have been fought and kings have been taken out. Because people don't know what is hierarchy. People don't know what is to respect others' authority. And I have my author rights. I have the rights of my intellectual property, and that's my authorship of the rules of role playing to virtual reality. And I have created the formula for the metaverse with the infinite because I have worked for 18 years for it and studied for it and worked for it. Nobody paid for it. I invested on it alone. So I deserve it all, my percentage for me. And you don't give a shit about money? Well, fuck off. That is your problem. But people have values in this world. Yeah? And there are many people like me that want to do something with their lives. Not like you. Whom on this earth is going to be on the microphone there, having all the power in the world and connections, talking bullshit about your little bitch wife of a brother and your little brother who'll never be king? And then what? What? You want to be a king of what? Of bullshit? Of talking bullshit? When you know what is role play about? Because you need to maintain this character to the people so people respect you out of fear. No. You're like the Wizard of Oz. You create this character, this cool, but we have many affinities. As human information we can have from ancestral stories. So yeah, it is cool. It is cool. But I am not here to listen about all this bullshit. I am here to have my work done. And it will flow. It will flow by itself with the scientists, the psychologists, and psychiatrists, whether you want to be there or not, or show your face, or behind your mother's skirts and your middle class white trash who can fake it till end. All right? That's what you got. I don't understand why I cannot make a better stories for documentaries for Camilla and Charles. Like, what kind of script writers are there? I could make a much better story for King Charles and Camilla. More romantic, more impossible love is the best of all. The agony of him wanted to do whatever he wants in his realm of emotion. He's a free thinker, at least in his own private life. Beyond other people's judgment. And to paint Camilla in the times, because when you fall in love, you still relate with the person you met, no matter how many decades and older you are. So it is a romantic story. And even if he had many women as well, there's a love about freedom there that they share, at least feeling at home. without someone that is wants to manipulate you to be famous. Keep that story to yourself if you like it. Well, this world needs adventure. And they need to role play for sure. Not everyone, but 30% to business. They will do it as if it's watching TV in the future in virtual reality. Now Meta and Bill Gates can go to hell. I could care less. If they betray my work, that cost me a lot of money to send 500 grams of paper with my work and files. Who had the hooks? So you could put it there with the other files. And he knew very well. Now he created all this scam to make believe they're blogs. This story rolling, right? You got money from Bill Gates. Very clever and stupid at the same time. If you really look at all that's going on. Yeah? Of course it works. You don't like to say thank you to me? They have genius or a heart. Think for the people of China who also have incredible knowledge, and it's too far for me to say everything they have and have not. So it takes a long time to mediate and respect certain movements and to learn how we can achieve this worldwide program and come back into our hearts and be a little more honest and transparent. And it has to do a lot with cutting off with the bullshit. Cutting off. Because a lot gonna go on. There is a lot going to fall down. But is this generation going to push it forward? And we need the help of the older ones, as Bill Gates, as asshole he can be, and annoying to me, because I send it to him. I still will want to see him. And I have the right for him to tell me. What does he think he's doing? I'm not gonna help your stories. I'm one of the best role players online, if not the best. I could care less about your money, your mansion, and how many bitches you have, and they follow you, right? And I'm nobody's follower. Even if I marry you, I will never tolerate bullshit. Not even if I know, but even if I presume. None of my children. And even they do it, then there is no relationship. Yeah? So that's it. That's what happens to people with me, and they lose everything. Why? Because they were getting from me. Now you don't get from me, you lose it. Why? Because you're getting from me. You're getting it from me. So you don't respect that. How can you get the whole formula? How can you ever think it's going to work? There is something there that it makes it function. I'm very happy to not have follow all these men or the world of academics where you have to do what others want and follow the same and then just teach what you learn. Because my father wanted me to, and my mother, They both were, they didn't want me to be stupid. They really want my space in my brain to think by myself, to be a self-generator of what really, really matters most because of my independence and what can I find to solve things can work better for everyone. So people are very busy doing their things and they must do their things and be professional for their things. And I am what I am for that. So you respect me. You want to be insulted? Keep insulting me. You want to open a door of being humiliated? Then keep humiliating. Yes? Oh, go in role play and put out there all your shit. Do dynamic meditation from Osho. Breathe very hard when you wake up without eating. Just brush your teeth. There is a music of dynamic meditation. I used to deal that meditation. I used to lead that meditation by just simply being there and telling the movements before starting. But there is where people can express their anger and their madness after breathing a lot. So there's a lot of oxygen so it's easier to explode from the subconscious because your mind is still from that sleepy state. Of course, you cannot do meditation if you're taking cocaine or drugs or stimulants. You have to find that natural source within you. Those chemicals exist within you if you become a master of your own, which you are not. You are on the level of learning because you're still copying. Everything you hate from others is what you are. So it doesn't matter that you were middle class in your past life, but you're giving now a role to rule, to have power and dominion. There are many kings and queens who have served the kingdom. You never did. You were there in a jail for being a scam. You wanted to be an artist, and everybody thought bad of you, and you had your right of your freedom. Whom you didn't care about anyone, and on those times they treated you as you were evil. So the person who put you in that jail was Kate, the fake. And she still thinks that she got away with it. But you were not put in that place because of Kate, the fake. You were put in the jail in that place because of the person who you never met. It was a person in the same building, a person who lived there for decades. I could never rule, but it was to be a king, a queen, doesn't matter. And he gave you that place because it was never listened. And you listened to this person, and you knew this person could free you, and he would hear about you because there were people who would talk about you to make you free and so both were listeners, both were in jail. One had power but not the power to rule, but there was from being in jail you develop a lot of psychic because you need to be free so your mind travels and listens or imagines or shares an imagination. So it's very good to know why narcissists exist or why people are so evil, because that was a big question from the person who could never rule as a king or queen. Why this evil exists? Why? It was such a deep question. Not just where power exists, but any source of power. Why? This person gave you its place, and you are paying revenge to all those who hurt this person because you hurt this person who gave you its place because it knew that you would learn. You didn't have the education and power to learn and be able to express. First of all, many kings and queens and people who serve, well, it would be too boring to serve. So there were higher souls who wish for this playful voice, who wanted to be free, artistic, to compose, whether it was music or writing, I don't know. But figuratively, we need these stories, whether they're true or not. Whether this very story is true or not. We need these stories to do something out of our fucking boring, tedious, obsolete life because nothing is really happening. Yeah, there are things that are happening, yeah. Do I really feel like the victory? No, no, I don't feel like I've won anything in particular. Yeah, some lives have been saved. They have stopped somehow. They have killed a few hundred less. Yeah, China is not doing a war. They postponed it. Ah, yeah, and Taiwan and with democracies, yeah, and in Ireland, 800 million euros from the European community to Ireland. Ireland is going to become a province from the United Kingdom. And the more money they get from the European community, the worse it's going to be for the relations from Ireland to United Kingdom. So there is a problem in Ireland. There are many problems that relate from countries which are in the boundaries of other countries. And this is where the law of freedom and determination enters. Is one of the laws of human rights accepted in the year 74. It was created by a Romanian with a Romanian name I can't remember. Is one of the greatest laws that exists. But it's not against authority, but it is perfect to avoid red tape and all this uh, incapability to move anything. All right? As it is. So have fun, man. If you have the best designers in the world, create your own pompous coronation. Enjoy to the maximum. There are a lot of people in this world that love to see a king and a queen. And enjoy to the maximum. We have the right to do that. And Osho always said there's nothing wrong against the material world and spirituality. It should not be split one from the other. The poor should stop thinking about being more spiritual if they're poor or more loving. These things, these ways of thinking, these vertientes, these in Spanish is vertiente, these inclinations of thought because it's where it falls down to to be again naturally. It just naturally falls down to that gravity. again and again, because it's the usual thing. It takes to reconstruct a pattern, it takes a lot of action and awareness while doing so. It's not just from one day to another. So I will be grateful to be out of this place, start working, give my work away, as has been said 1,000,000,000 times, for nothing much, but just being repetitive, whether it's pleasures or not, plus it's going to be more valuable to have friends and do things that around the world to create a more systematic wealth and caring for the planet than having many mansions or castles. To allow people to renovate castles and make their universities of role play, to create their vegetables there, to create how can you put all this together so it auto this there's a problem also with organizations. Once again, I study organizations in Canada because they are the mother of organizations. They are the creators of the legal term of organizations. There are a lot of inventive law forms, a lot of things there. You can go buy and put in this organization from the supermarket. A lot. And I study here again. I'm not a professional on that, but I've studied many years in business too. So there is a problem with the industry and organizations. So people, it needs to create a new format because it's illegal that you have your company or under your name, you also have an organization that helps your own people working there. So it needs to have another orientation. You're not corrupting it because it's for this organization. People don't know about the rights of organizations because the government only promotes for people to pay taxes, not to pay to organizations. So there is a ring that goes through all governments where organizations are part of government. And at the same time, they're independent or they belong to their own trademark. But people have to know that the people who put all these donations also have a power over what they want to do with this money in this organization. The thing is that you cannot create an organization that is also your property. So it needs different clauses, policies to create, because people are not going to work in an organization. People are not going to be held by other people's power or government. Somebody's going to say, I said, look, I want to do a mansion into a village. It is mine, but at the same time, it's yours if you work on it. So there is a credit and you pay this credit, but at the same time, you're making your house and you're working for the community. And you have this time to consume that. But what happens is your property because you're taking care of it. Is your property. You have worked for it. Is your material awareness, taking consciousness about the material values that we carry as working people who have values. I think the more you give, the more you can let through, right? So you have to be very empty inside, kind of crazy. Yeah, it looks crazy because you're not there. It's not a big deal. Taking drugs makes you feel superior. The only one. And it's the highest true, but it's not the only true because you're still in a in an air. People that would be in Goa, the drug addicts in India that go to Goa to party, and especially when Osho was alive, and would come to the part in India with Osho was 9 hours in bus or in aeroplane, but many little planes would fall down in India, so we would take a big van and or friends with a car and just go. But we will also go in a bus because we just wanted to go alone with the cats. And when they would come to the drug addicts, when they would come to meditate, where Osho was, and I lived there for 3 years. 6 months, I went 6 months. I lived 1 year, 6 more months. All these thanks to my mother. I don't think I could ever go myself. But my mother had a great courage and thirst for freedom, to a woman of business and traveling and bringing fashion from other parts of the world. And a respectful, independent woman. So they were not taking as drugs, but they find themselves to have a higher sense. They were having more sex, more meditation. They were more grounded to have relationship because they started to see the connection with the world, the real material world that our bodies are holding also and need to. So yeah, you lose values because you have too much values and you only see the whole theater of it, but it has a trueness to it. You don't care about true. You use it as an instrument, as a creative. But at least see it for what is going to benefit you. If you want to be a friend of people and meet them, honor them, or you want to play the prick behind the screen and just joking about it. Like if it's so funny. It's not that funny sometimes because it gets annoying. It gets annoying. Insult after insult, insolence. All this has to fall, man. Let it fall in your mind. Let it fall. Undress yourself a little more and trust with whomever you want to be. Stop manipulating and become part of creation. And I cannot give you the roles of role play, never, even if you left role play, but you're still stuck in character. All right, mister? You can role play many characters, but they're all related to you. So it's very different because you cannot get it. You can't get it like that, and you will never get it like that. You have to let go. And yeah, in hypnosis, they say you don't have to say you have to. So you're already telling me you don't have to. So there you go. So it works. There are many dimensions there how it moves, and there is a pattern of how it all works. Yes. So I'm not gonna give it for free because I know how and that is the problem. Because until everyone agrees, it's not going to happen because they're gonna copy it. The same thing you're doing to me is what the Chinese are gonna do, what the Russians are gonna do, the South Americans are gonna do. Anyone is going to just flip around, lie, and clean their ass with you. That much. So this is an attitude that has to just let it from let it in the past. People don't need to remember this again and again, the same mistakes. Investing in work, because this is how it works. It always have work. This is legitimate. Look at Boris. What is he marketing Boris Johnson to support Ukraine? War? To make alliances a business to for what? No, that's not the way the world is gonna become together. It's gonna become together with the mediations. So it doesn't matter how many people with money are there, what are they gonna make believe in the world? How long are they gonna go with this shaking hands with all their G7, G20, uh, Davis, all this publicity in the media? All that could change from one day to another with fine premeditation. So say thank you that I got to you, and say thank you that I could talk to her when you start becoming clear. Because everyone you got, thanks to your connections, will do it because it benefits them. And they find it funny as well, like a place of no judgment. But there is a judgment. And the older generation who survives from this and their aspects of corruption they used to share, they will only teach the younger generation. And the only storyline that can save the ass of all of you corrupted bullshitters, because destroying my country, Venezuela, putting all these guns is not the way. All right? Don't think I'm going to be here surrendering. I'm working here for a global peace and commonwealth, for the arts of role play in virtual reality fantasy, because that's where people are going to learn to respect boundaries, to interact, to be daring, to see the zigzag, that not every character matches for how it is moving because they are not ready. Yeah, some characters count, some not, for whatever it is that is going on. So there is so much here, and there is a way where it's all this works by itself. So you put your ego apart. I put my ego apart. Yeah, you don't cross over me, and I don't cross over you. I don't tell you what to do. But I demand respect towards my space, time, and movement. And this is my work. Whatever you want to do it. You think I'm going to allow this to happen again? No. Your father didn't teach you, your mother didn't teach you. They were fucking around. Your nannies were your friends. Your mother was jealous of your nannies and would fire them all. I know that from the nannies of London because I was a nanny governess. Your mother was an envious bitch because she was never taking care of you. And she made a hell of a problem with the nannies that you had. They never abandoned you. It was the bitch of your mother who didn't care about you. You would be bitching around to be in the cover of magazines. And that's what you're doing and your brother. Unconsciously. Because if you were aware, you would keep doing what your intelligence is doing because it is talented and have all this power from all these people as well to refine you. But you don't need so many words to understand each other. Do you? How many words do you need to understand reality? It's 7 in the morning. There are beautiful cold days in London with sunshine and fresh. So you will always find better business in South America, as you see, because they are Christians. It's not as good as North America, but it's way better than Africa. You can understand the same language of respect. And if you go to South America, you know, it's like a little Europe. In some parts, it's wild, too wild. So I got this book, Human Resource Management, a Strategic Introduction. So there's been so many thinkers and so much information. El Prado, that's in Madrid, which uh, is a piece of art. I just got these books, International Affairs, Volume 2, March 218. Will Trump make China great again? Preventing violent extremism through the United Nations. Well, Osho said there is not going to be more wars in the future, and that the wars are going to be independent. Like people are going to be fighting on their own. So understanding the as animals that we are, we need to put this rage in sex, in sports, in dancing, in not yoga, in heavy meditations where you exhaust the body. As dynamic meditation could be, there are like 120 meditations to explore, or in virtual reality. Yeah. Talking to the psychologist is never going to change you. It can orientate you a little bit, but you need that time space to activate your unconscious in order to bring it to consciousness. Because blah, 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 and online is never going to do anything but entertainment. Your right to know. A Citizen's Guide to the Freedom of Information Act. That is the door of the prime ministers of United Kingdom. I think the book looks from the 90s. Maybe not. Two 2005, 2007. Change is very fast. The biography of Boy George. Chun, 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 chun. I've always take it like a man. There you go, like that. That's how they do. That's what they do now. That's what we do. That's what we do. I'm glad they're putting YouTubers on the news and talking with them as well. Financial accounting and reporting. So it's very important to report, and good business is the best creation. So whoop, this is too boring, but I'm getting some words for making a sample for something. Introduction to Design and Analysis, a student's handbook. This popular text provides undergraduate students with a practical introduction to the design and analysis of experiments, particularly in the social and behavioral sciences. Its straightforward approach, step by step descriptions, work examples, and helpful exercises combine to make important concepts and methods accessible to readers of diverse backgrounds. So it's very good for you to keep in contact with your team and not be always mystery, like if you're so special, because it is good for you to keep track of your own creation and have fun with it, have friends, have real friends that love what they're doing. And yeah, I guess they are thankful that you open them a door to hear you and see you are taking the piece out of it, because it's genius at the same time to be as free to do whatever you want, to have your freedom of expression. So there is a duality there, because if you're gonna put this law against your brother but not against you, kind of like playing with the same coin there. Secrets of the Sea. So I would have to go to the library many times to, depending of the character, because many stories are not up to you. There was a storyline that was to Atlantis, so I had to take all the group to Atlantis and get to get all this verse and learning, constantly learning to create. Otherwise, I would be a computer, an artificial intelligence. Fuck off, artificial intelligence. You'll never have a fucking orgasm or know what is to procreate with juices. Go crazy and create beyond your boundaries of what you are learning, of what you have. Because those analytics are fake. It is from what it shows here, but doesn't mean that it's showing everywhere. Yeah? Because there are many species of humans as well that won't put their information there, are working in other ways. So it's moving, it's moving. If you think how is it going to work for everyone, just start being honest. Because how many people like you are becoming an obstruction when it is your responsibility to let this inclination flow? So cookies and cake. Nobody got that. People cannot be pressing these boxes all the time about cookies. It's like if the tech titans are going to be so greedy, they really have to sit together. Tim Cook had more awareness to it. Okay, everybody wants the big piece of cake, of course, But look at the universe, how infinite it is. How are you going to cut a piece of cake in the universe? Well, you start somewhere there. Don't look at the greater angles. But allow this to form, to bend. Yeah, once it's an entanglement, you can never get out. Well, a part of it for what it needs to flow there. There are people so poor, they steal their children in the middle of nowhere in South America. Only God knows what they do with the children. Leading strategy execution. In roleplay, one has to bath into executing and violence and action. That it may be like, oh, if people are doing sports, they don't see it as violence. So it all correlates to the field that you're working with and how are you managing this and how do you know this is going to be a mediation for this, because this is what matters most. It is more convenient to stop all these wars and create people who are going to target all the problems and have the right to do so, because they're going to be interacting with each other and they're going to have the support of the government and the law to do so. So we learn to share this planet. But without respecting authority, you cannot respect anyone's authority. You don't have your inner authority, and you just will just keep there just doing the same thing because it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, yeah, rape my children. It's nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, throw them in the streets because it's crazy. Yeah, let's ignore it. He's nice. Yeah, no, that's not how you take care of your people and your values. You can make a great business deal without exploding so much. Behavioral science, fifth edition. Well, behavioral science. This is not so much about studying people, but there is a dictionary for the rules of role playing to virtual reality. And there is the need to start operating so all the countries can start working with their national libraries, getting all their main characters from every book to register them, their copyrights, and people can get to study them so as well from any part of the world for each universe, for each verse, to make them or be inspired by these characters and characteristics from each part of the world, which are already defined thanks to the people of the past, especially the colonies, who have helped to create countries and their boundaries. So we can say thank you for all these wars who had defined one land from the other, so it's been taken care of and controlled by them. And now we can move on. Yeah? So if Russia takes this piece of land from Ukraine that used to be Russian, it's gonna look like Russia has a little dick hanging there without balls. Maybe cut balls there. There's Crimea. That's it. You know, you could make so many deals. So many deals. Infinite thousand million creative deals. You can exchange lands. You can make up 1,000 infinite million deals, but you're stuck with these 10 points, and maybe it's not going to work because that's not the way you do. You do mediation. You have to keep mediating and you have to keep orchestrating this conversation to that you don't want to hustle around. I don't want to hustle. I didn't want to be a business person, but I had to deal with this. My mother's a business person. I was always thinking I'll never want to be a business person, merchandiser. But we share information and we constantly have to face that this is the price, or we go into the other place and buy it there, or take more time, less time, invest here and there, be a little more safe, control your words, control your emotions, place priorities. Because even if I'm immortal, I'm living in my mind in a place that is of eternity. And my words are going to be there forever in the metaverse. The creation of all the fantasies where people can write and read from others. Nightmares, dreams, fears. Because, of course, everyone starts projecting and manifesting and that vibration. Yeah, it's not the way because you have to understand the other realities of the realities. Without that, you could never create. Never. You don't have the alchemy. You don't have the transformational switch, the transformational, the breakthrough towards the light. You don't have that push, that spark, the infinite inventive river or cascade. Everybody wants to go up and make more. Now come and look down. That's where you're gonna make more. On this fertile earth. With all these dirty people who like to have a better dress, a healthier body, to be loved and love, to be important in what they do. And they will continue doing the same problems. At least they're coming together thanks to internet to do certain things right. There's no other way. You like it or not, it's no other way. You're involved. There's no free will. People need to believe in free will, but you really think about it. You are obligated. It is your role. You're in that position. It's not because of you want to, but you have to. So you're obligated because you're involved. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go and tell the police and snitch? You're involved now. You're a witness. You're gonna do something or with it or against. So even if you do it against, it's auto killing yourself most of the time. Because the whole system, the whole nature of it won't allow you. Or you will be replaced. Because is the head is going to grow again. It's going to be positioned. Because everybody respects the head because of the head of the entire entity is thinking together as one as well. And it's praise the representative that is honors at itself. Otherwise, there is no such respect. And you know this from history. It happens again and again. It's not just because of your pretty face and your family. This is a work of your own. So you have to deal with what you know and with what you don't know. And make this coronation beautiful. At least believe there is something sacred away from yourself that exists. Let it happen, man. Because it's gonna become vulgar if you keep talking trash online. At least just separate these just 3 months. 3 months. 3 months. Whatever they do or not. Just trust in your work. 3 months. Would you like your son to be talking trash about your other children and trashing your coronation and putting you like if you're a puppet there of his, your own son, your own little son, after all you did for him? So he's like you. He will do what you did to honor you. It's called shadow love. I promised myself to never have my children with comparisons, to never compare them, to never love one more than the other. So the press here has compared the children of Charles, and they think to own that narrative that you're following. Because I grew up as an adult with it, as a teenager adult. You didn't grow up with that. You were not reading the newspaper. You were not hearing the adults. If you don't know whatever makes you happy, and you just want people happy, make yourself. It's just we can bath in that duality of of hierarchy and honor, respect, and also freedom and independence and moving into the unknown, the conservative known of forever known as nature falls again into the same natures on what is what and the creation into the unknown. But there are things that we know in between that are going on. So if it pleases you, try to put it on virtual reality. If you want more viewers, and this is should stop, just bring a new drama then. I don't know. It's the same drama. I don't want to tell people stories because the cool thing is they make their own. But in my story, energetically, realistically, I have my definitions and much creation parts from everyone. So this is this is another type of authority, but is you become like the when Zeus becomes air, and he's just hugging the whole scenario, all that vibration, and he's just a watcher, like in meditation. So as fast as the light is traveling, you can be anywhere, just present and in many times at the same time, and within the entity that you belong with, and not on any other entity. This is not just in your brain, but within your understandings. And the actual present is what matters most, because only here is we can make it happen. I can have an agenda of 5 years, but I'm dependent from everyone involved. And it hurts me to see the press share information without having the data that should already be globalized and noted there. Because there's a lot of information going on and on and on again, and it is not really about blaming anyone and putting anyone to jail, because we are trying to make things better. So there were tendencies, and now we are being checked. We're checking on this. You need content, well, or you just need to eat to shit. Because what are you doing with that energy? Yeah, that you are creating to be one more day alive. So I should celebrate that China went to Switzerland in Davos. Um, and whatever the works of all the people that I have insulted, because it's funny, right? But it's not gonna be like this, because this should never be like this. This is a phenomenon that no one could tell if they belong to anyone, because it had to do with everyone. So as soon as we involve with Russia with a negotiation, the better. Yeah, because that piece of land is nothing compared to what we are creating forward. So Ukrainians have to learn to do this dialogue, and they have to think if it's going to take for them 30 years, 5 years, and 7 years. But for that, Ukrainians and Russians have to live there together until this dialogue is formed. Who cares about this piece of land? There is no value to put so much money in war anymore. I know how people with money think. One thing is okay in virtual reality and one has a lot of fun. Another thing is telling the same story over and over. There are no conclusive chapters. This one is cool. The energy of management. What if your middle managers actually serve some purpose? And there is beauty when people get to know other people and travel and get to help industry, but at the same time help to move local jobs so people don't have to travel. I mean, that's for the mediators. You can do things on Zoom all the time. You need a personal visit there. I know this person's gonna come. And you need a sense of importance, that someone is important coming to check. Yeah, there is a circuit there that when the person's gonna come, you want to show the best that you have done. And that's the way I work. I work with a lot of respect, but lots. But I believe in that. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I would do something else. I have come to this neighborhood to fix the problems with the migrants, so I had to bathe with it. I had to live with these problems. I had to try many ways to the and I have mistaken many times, and I keep trying. But every Muslim I live here, African or from Jamaica, even if was born here, they have this bad attitude as if they were born in Jamaica or more, because there are many Jamaicans here, and they shout, "We're here first, British!" I'm like, yeah, right. You don't look like by the tone. I'm not saying British are better, but so isolating yourself. The British need to come out, the British need to integrate with the people that are here, because you need to integrate as well with your own people that are moving this. So, if one believes in you, yes. But if not, they will do it just for money, for interest. Just because it's cool, you know, can have that power. But they have to define the difference that this is our generation. That's the only storyline that is going to save the ass of all these assholes. I've said it again, I will say it again. This is our generation that is defining us, whether you're alive or about to die. Hopefully, those who are about to die could die as soon as possible, but they could have more energy if they are with younger people and teaching them and giving them their knowledge, not through Zoom, but walking them through their holes of introversion and really getting to manage and be inspired because they love to learn from their master and have the devotion of a disciple. In fact, Osho said, and I do agree, there are some things I don't agree, but most I did. And the highest love is the one of a disciple with a master. It is the highest love, a highest form of frequency. So I have created in virtual reality in the lost city of Petra in Jordan, which is behind Jerusalem, where the first Christians would hide as terrorists and chop heads, rebellious, until Christianity became legal in the Roman Empire, because they were going to lose it anyways. People need new gods. I created in the lost city of Petra, that was famous there for the little ones we were, LCP, a city of masters and disciples of role play. And that is very beautiful. So this is a form of religiousness. Christianity needs to adjust and hold strong together, because I do believe that we need our religion and any form of spirituality that exists. But without giving yourself, there is nothing. So Christianity shows that in the worst case scenario as well, when there's nothing but death, from poverty, from lack of care. I don't want to be an intellectual. I don't want to be talking like this. I only want to close this deal and see it roll. So don't you ever think that I am going to follow your manipulations? It's never going to happen because they're slow. You want stories to replace from stories. And I have a very simple deal. This could start working already. And it's beautiful. People will have a sense of goodness. They're doing something that is better, something that makes you special, makes you wake up to think the mistakes of the past are not on you, and you have many as you to support each other. So I see these countries talking about, yeah, they're supporting this war in Ukraine. A few in Europe, not all, in NATO. So as a prayer, I give my applause to all those who are not supporting this war in Ukraine, and I will hope for Russia to stop as well and create their mediation. Try to get some land somewhere else. Create a mediation script that you're going to create in the next months. It is beautiful to follow the astrology because this is a script that we have and that we all share. So nobody made that story. So we can guide ourselves with the planets and, and listen to our astrologers and give that schedule. As we know with the planets, as we are entering February right now, there are good vibrations for mediations, and then in May. So whatever this is true or not, but we have the same guidance. We have the same planets positions, so we can operate and know, okay, Mars is, and so we have more or less a dialogue and know how it's going to be by facing our realities. The planets are too far, but we can have more or less an orientation and dates to say, we can make it faster if we want. We can stop this right now. We can start investing in this together. How long is it going to take Russia to be part of NATO? No, because the business is war. Or Russia doesn't follow all the rules of human rights. It is evolved, but it's not so evolved. It is evolved as Europe, but it's not so evolved as Europe. Who are we to judge others? But at least help stop this war and help these programmers who are doing this. Hopefully they are getting to the end of it. There's so much to do. Not to destroy more the earth. Lithium and electric cars is not the solution, really, to work locally. other forms of energy. So it is good that we learn what is energy, how we behave with how we manage our energy, and it is an infinite class of science. It is good to read loud and learn more words to compose. I wanted to say that when my father slapped me, that I've never had any violence, so for me it was very dramatic. I really meant it. He said, "I'm a writer. You're insulting me," he said. Because I said, "Why do you need so many words? Can I just understand each other with simple words?" I was 13. I still have that relationship with my father. I'm still looking for a word, as he would. And I'm still looking for simple words. So it becomes easier. Easier. This is about breaking it down so it simplifies. Really. Just let it multiply around the earth so it gets to what is needed. We can make this. Say yourself if you have better words. You really have to believe in what you're doing. That what you're doing is more important than your little brother and its wife. If it bothers you so much, it is good to see so much discipline. But I am not here to listen to it because you're good at it. I'm here to vent that in towards what you're doing and recover what you left. What you left from first generation. It wouldn't be yours then to do so. We can be idiots for some time, but it shouldn't be that way. We can be doing the wrong things, but it shouldn't be that way. Like it's not just about that. Like so when somebody comes that appreciates something that you have more than you do, it helps you. The therapists say we need new people. We constantly need because they're so fresh. They want to know. We're tired of knowing this. So they inspire us to value what we know, to give it to them. But it is them who brings us alive. We wouldn't be alive if it is not for the new people or our disciples. And that is the beauty of role play as well for many. So it should become fashion because we all have something to that could be cool to share that is not violence, serial killers, wars, pedophiles, horror news infecting our very existence when we used to dance and celebrate and make a lot of money. This memory could never die. So I don't know how to give my work without having to betray myself. Betraying myself would be betraying the work. It would prostitute what the work is about. So you can do whatever you want, but it's never going to happen. Yes. So until you do not respect the source and the creator of the formula, you won't have the full formula. So it works. All right. So this is beyond myself what I'm saying because it has the whole meaning of the pragmatic movement of and placing of how it happens. I appreciate all those who are willing to and know that this is the only way because it's fun as well. There are a lot of gray areas, erotica, criminality, and values from one side to the other. So those things should be left in the private for virtual reality to work on and keep a narrative in real life that is supportive for people to get their jobs, to pay their bills, to believe they can do it, to know that by mediating, we can make a future that has never existed before because we trust we can do that. And only with that, we can do that. So it's a reality that we are mediating and we will keep mediating. So there's until there are no more weapons of mass destruction. But for that, you will need whistleblowers and the support of the law and international law, and everyone on board with a map of the globe, because it's the only world we have. So now that it can profit those who have more and those who can have even more. So we still need to come down to sometimes to work with the lower class so they learn from us to behave more respectfully and some to get to do their own stories, to learn what is fantasy and boundaries on their own, because people study on their own and it's supposed to have a privacy. It's supposed to have anonymous where you can just play these characters with absolute togetherness for it 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 for each character to be. I am not going to share much until My agreement is legalized as a reality. That is the reality the world also needs. People are not going to be against you because they learn how to mediate. They will understand how the energy flows. Yeah. In its many back and forth movement from the core of ourself and the core of this planet and the core of the center of our galaxy. We know we have the rights to understand the source of this power. So we can get to mediate through all the levels, all the dimensions, all the place. Men will become more beautiful and sexy and powerful as gods. Uh, Not by being bitter talking about a woman. Because women wouldn't be afraid to be themselves and be there for men as well. We can see that, and let's see until when are you gonna allow that to be. The older generation maintain their power because it's the only power they have. They are not young anymore. They have another beauty that they share with each other, but they're envious and they believe other stories. So this goes on, and castrating the youth, the beauty and the power and so much energy that the youth has to burn, and they also have the incredible spirit to go discover and burn it. But without having that support as well, where you're just a lost rocket. They are going there just for really much. So these are sources of energy that are gonna take for space travel much. It is not of me to talk about certain themes that will get to the right order. So it is good to honor others. I wish to feel safe for, for my children, um, to honor them, especially because they deserve that, and my mother, they deserve that, to know that I've never abandoned them, that I have never, ever stopped fighting to have them with me. I want my children to know that I could have solved these problems when I was with them, because I had solved problems when I was raising Debbie in New York. And I don't want to solve any problems or be a genius or anything, because everyone is a genius as well, I believe. Everyone can have that spark of their own with everyone, getting enlightened, getting bubbly, sparklingly to one another, and see it come to form. The first guests, and I would love to keep being that observer. I love to see my children and take them to sports. I love to have place to do a maquette of the underworld and hide fusions with other cultures as well. A maquette and have figurines and see people role play and just see what people are studying for what is being given, because there will be dictionary for it, because this is a new foundation for the next 3,000 years. Books have existed from the rock, from tablets. We're gonna respect our cultures and ourselves and our boundaries more and more, because we're learning to relate and be theatrical, express through the arts and every fiber of your body and tissue of reality. So, you like to copy from me? Can give many Nobel Prizes. You can pick them up under your name. If you want, you will have to pay my percentage and respect the source. No matter how many lies you do or take over my work, it's never gonna be all in its to boil in its all its degrees to boil. It will never boil with few degrees less. It never it will never boil. Um I can show off as much as I want because it's mine. When it's given, it's not mine anymore. I have the right to see it grow then. Yeah. I'm become an admirer because it's beyond my reach now. It's growing by itself. Because I have seen it. I have seen this pattern many times. I have not I have not come across a moment before sending it to think that I would have to give it all. I studied for patents for 2 years, and people, I was very careful. And I will say it again, I've been months alone, just thinking into the unknown. What could happen? So this is one of the possibilities that could happen that was the worst. I could be with my children right now, with my money from my work. So you already have your peace deal, you already have your tech giants, and now finish with this and make that paper, and I will give you the formula. This is the mediation of your life. Every saliva you waste is sad to watch, but I have to embrace that it has potential and it has talent and it's good because of this and that. But from a minimal dimension, the voice should serve humanity. And still joke if you want, still have all these pantomimes, like you don't care. Joke about the high class. Show off that you can do whatever you want. I'm trying to clear away the stream of thoughts so it doesn't repeat again, and we have a beautiful coronation with beautiful stories, with beautiful gatherings, with one's coronation towards being straight with the crowning of consciousness, and that which we share with the kingdom as well, because we all have as well. It is an honor, but one has to be born, I guess, with the. I guess one has to appreciate the master, appreciate the mother, appreciate the father. I'm nothing with that. So every year I get a notebook besides agendas and that. So this one is I got it smaller. So I work too much. I burn myself. So to open an appeal of McDonald's, I will have to prove that I have a mental illness breakdown. And I couldn't follow this case alone. So, or answer any phones or get out of my home to get help because that's what happened. Normally, I'm a person who loves to be with my family, with my friends, just average. I love moving my body, dancing, or doing sports, just going out and keeping up with my family. And that there is there's nothing outrageous in that, but that's who I am. I'm not a person that likes to be alone. I knew that I had to do this alone because it was the only way to push forward. If my children would be in school, I would still do it alone. and I will be with them. I mean alone that I wouldn't have the support of any university or academy or government organization because at the beginning it seems there is nothing. People don't appreciate what it is. When you really come to see how valuable it is, you will reconsider that you were there and it's valuable. Of course, you have so many issues and you're taking care of so many people, and that is incredible. No one could understand how much you need to relieve yourself, maybe. Wait, what? People have their rights. People have their rights from their intellectual rights, and people have the power to deal. So if we keep the narrative in the hands of other people, we will never become creative enough to make it happen. So it looks very easy to talk and this and that. But this is a work that I have experienced and noted, and this is a work that has a mechanism of its own. So it is bad that you are not letting it happen and you're just using, because it has to be your way, because you have to be and show that you're the superior. But after so much time, it gets tiring. You want to make believe this, and it has to be your way, and there's another way. You're never going to be satisfied, first of all, because you have that problem. But that's not my problem. I cannot go with this formula and tell you that I have made it with a university, that I have made it with this group, this, and lose all my time and money in making these protocols. So you make it with all your conventional forms. So once in a lifetime, you could say, you know what? It is within my power to make it work. And as everything, if not, it goes against you. And this is as everything in life. If it's not with you, it goes against you. And stories, it doesn't matter because you are beyond the worries of this world. You know what is good and bad and the parts of creation and storytelling and how it continues, because where everyone is gets together for this, gets done and here and there, and you can even have the luxury to be wrong as much as you want because you can always be right again. So it's fine until one. I am not hacking you. I didn't break through. I have. You are the one who's hacking and breaking through and using my intelligence, which I am putting so on the side. So if it works, good. Uh, because I have involved myself with this, but it's not the way that I want these things to work. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to make characters anymore, or as any storyteller that has many characters and is writing stories with its characters, or role player, which can understand from within much better. So it's mirroring. Now, to articulate the brain with the reality is quite something. It's not projecting or manifesting. Your vibration matters, but the relation through the reality is, and if there is no connection, there is no agreement, is only an illusion. So you're all every day making yourself believe that you are something that you want to be, but it's an illusion. It is a projection. It's a desire and an insatisfaction that needs to fill that void with. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing that. You would be doing always something that is better if you knew something better. But how can you judge what is better if you don't know? What can you judge? What is better for you is not better for the all. So choose your cards very well. You want to be the one that picks your cards and plays them because it is your game. You don't know all the dimensions and the plays. So the more I know, the worst you feel, right? So that's what you hate. That's why you won't comply. You move away when people were playing in one way and you still know other plays, but you are still stuck in character. So you need to disattach sometimes from your main characters that support your main character to understand how it moves. You're never going to lose your main character for doing that also. That's only fear to lose what you're fighting so much to maintain. So I'm only interested on that. The rest is complementary. But anyone can do this and that. This is what I came for, and that's it. It's very simple. So you're obligated to follow through, and you will remember. Oh, you did this, and this is that, and that. You will remember what you used to do and how it worked, and then you will see, oh yeah, yeah. But I cannot be taking care of your characters and then say after so many years, like, look, you invented this because you were not there. You left all this game and didn't evolve with it. You might remember, but you've forgotten. It's been abandoned. You want to make yourself whatever you want. You're going to have to take a lot of dimensions if you really want to. So if you have the construct to take it, you will. That's why I insist, because you would, knowing the capacity that you can take, and that takes a lot. So you will see it. Uh, you will see it. There is no fight. You will see it that it was yours all this time because you did this and that and that, and that's how it roll. And you will remember, oh yes, this never rolls because of this. As a person that is just taking from people's work to make it your name, people taking picking from here and there. You could flip. Things are meant to flip, but what is there is a good base, solid, is truth. It's gonna stay there forever because we keep that which has a good foundation for it's sheltering, and that's what I like to be. I don't want to be used and abused. I like to be like a sheltering tree, giving shade and from the sun when it's burning, and bringing the just to be there, seeing it happen. Is good enough. Once it's trusted, the same pattern is gonna flow through that. But you will see the connection. You can say, I don't agree now, but I could agree within 30 years after I die. I can agree. That's an agreement already. Not agreeing is an agreement that you don't agree. You are giving an agreement to something else to happen. So these are bonds that we make constantly inform us in our stories, in our relations, in our communication, the yes and no, the bounds, the arts. So that's how the creation of music and the creation of all this beautiful architecture that we have is not just always the same. We do have these gates and doors and windows, and so in the same way the numbers go up and down in the charts, there is a dance to it, a rhythm, a heartbeat. So masters of creation, we can see what we are doing. So if you're just chose to be the leader, at least accept it because you're forced. So you have the talent to speak, and you like to do that. So and continue. But like this is not gonna happen. It's never going to happen. You hacking me and just taking clips, or even if you do whatever, it's never going to happen. And eventually it's just gonna flip to the other side. Same energy. Of course, people will always do for interest, but there is a common sense and there is an ability in humans to create a better and better human interaction. So those responsible platforms and technology, those in government as well, I want to thank all those who are coming together. Thanks to you. If it is that you're good for something, so be it. Bye. The more time it passes, the less respect there is. So I don't have stories to tell. I don't want to listen to insults or stories. Bye.